So we're back again with more queer and delightful conversations. So last year I started this mini podcast to have fun and light conversations with LGBTQs in hopes of letting other LGBTQs, especially the young ones, know that it's okay to be who they are and encourage them to live their truth and be their authentic self. So with me today is Gia. Gia, thank you so much for hopping on this call and allowing us to share your story and share your thoughts with our listeners. All right, I'll go ahead and start off with the first question. So, Gia, what do you identify as?
I identify as bisexual.
Bisexual. All right, and your pronouns are
She, her.
she, her. All right. All right.
Yes.
And when did you first realize that you were bisexual?
I think when I was in first year high school, I was started to be attracted to one of my classmates, and at the same time, I started having. She was a girl, and
Mhm.
at the same time, I had a crush on this guy. So that was when I realized that yeah, there's a chance that I might be bi.
Okay. All right. And when did you first come out or that you were bisexual?
Officially when I said I'm bisexual to someone,
Yes,
um, last year.
last year.
Um,
And
yeah, mhm.
who was that person that you came out to first?
My father,
Your dad. And how was your dad's reaction?
he was really supportive, as usual. That's also the reason why I came out to him first, because I kind of knew that he wouldn't judge me.
Hmm.
So I told him, I just texted him. I was out with my friends. We are having a couple of drinks, and with
So you had that
the
liquid courage.
confidence, with the confidence brought by the beer or something, I just texted my father and told him, "Bye, I'm bisexual," and then he responded a couple of minutes later saying, "We're mature enough to understand that, as long as you know, we're both mature enough to understand that there's no discrimination or something like that. So, I love you no matter what." So yeah, he was really supportive.
Ah, that's really nice to know. And how did it feel like when you finally, told it was your father? So he means a lot to you. So how did it feel like when you finally told him and you came out that you're bisexual?
I was relieved
Mm-hmm.
and I cried actually. I cried that night, and I said that finally um I told someone. It was the first time they officially said that I'm bisexual. So yeah, I was really relieved, and I
All
felt
right.
accepted. Yeah.
That is so good. And was there any negative reaction from anyone you know when you started showing up as yourself?
Well, not really. I wouldn't say negative, but
Mhm.
they were kind of indifferent. They were just not used to having someone, knowing someone who's close to them to be bisexual. This is coming from my family members, especially my grandparents, because
Mhm.
they're really old fashioned. So they were kind of indifferent, and they told me that um, like how would it even work if you're both female, if you're in a relationship with both female. And so what I told them, it would work. It works. A lot of
Mm,
couples, there are a lot of gay couples who have families now, like that.
mm.
And when they found out that I have a girlfriend, they were okay. But I even introduced my girlfriend to my grandmother, and she was okay with it. But
All right.
yeah.
That's nice. I think they're just a little bit, not used to the LGBTQ couple setup. I mean, is your whole family cisgender? They're all straight people, is it?
I no, I have
Hmm.
an uncle who's he was gay. He's openly gay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Just really my grandparents. They just really old fashioned people, and at first they were just I think they were just a bit surprised because before before I came out and before I told them that I have a girlfriend, I had a relationship with this boy for a
Mm.
year. So they thought I was straight, but always grew up boyish. So like I was more close with guys, my guy classmates. So when they found out that I have a boyfriend, they were like, oh, "Okay, so you're straight." But then a couple of years later, I announced that I have a girlfriend, and what? I thought you were, but they're okay with it
All right.
so
And
far.
bisexual is actually, there's a lot of misconceptions about
Mm.
bisexual people. What is the most common misconception that you want to clear out um, for people out there?
um, Actually, one of the most common misconception would be when you when you tell a person that you're bisexual and they say and so they just immediately assume that you're a lesbian because you tell them that I'm attracted to girls or I have a
Mhm.
girlfriend, and that they immediately assume that you're a lesbian or something like that. And when I tell them no, I'm bi, I had a boyfriend before, so and they respond with, so you're still lesbian, right? So something like that. So they assume that being bisexual means you only have one gender preference or something like that, or you can switch whatever you want, but it's not really like that for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And when you were growing up, what was a film or book character that you first related to? Like when you saw that character or read that character, you were like, oh, that's me.
It was a TV series. This MTV, like a teenage rom com series from MTV. It's called Faking It, and there's the main character. Her name is Amy, and she was first confused. Like she fell in love with her best friend, who was a girl, and when she finally came out, she was like, I don't care. And I'm bisexual. I'm also attracted to this guy, and I fell in love with my best friend, something like that. And I don't really want labels. I don't really label myself or something like that. So I kind of identified with her because for me, um, yeah, I want to be openly bisexual and just want to be myself. So,
That's great. That's great. Um, what was the best advice that you've ever gotten?
hmm, best advice. I think I one of my friends uh, told me when my former coworker, I came out to her and she told me that, you know what, even if you're bisexual, um, and you're scared, and before I came out, before I had a girlfriend and officially came out as bisexual to my family, I had this coworker, and she told me that I know you're scared to tell your parents or your family about that you're bisexual, but just be yourself, that, and just be yourself. Just be open to what you are. You're gonna have a much more difficult life if you're gonna continue hiding who you
Mhm.
really are. So yes, she just told me to just be myself, and whatever happens, happens, and like that.
All
And
right.
yeah.
It's really nice to have that one, even one support person that'll allow you to or tell you that it's okay to be who you are. And I think this is the main theme of why I started Queer and Delightful Conversations. Because we're hoping that when someone sees this and then they see themselves in you, and that, we're all living as out in the real world as who we are as LGBTQ people, and that they
Mhm.
see that it is okay. But as we know, there are still a lot of people who are not out in the open
Yeah.
for fear of being rejected, or sometimes as well, there's a lot of discrimination that LGBTQ people experience. We're quite a bit lucky relatively here in the Philippines,
Mhm.
because there are no laws preventing us from uh, living as who we are. But in some places, it's illegal to be LGBTQs. There's jail time, or even, I don't know, sometimes death punishment for being LGBTQ. So for your, let's say for your fellow Filipinos who are still in the closet, what is your advice to them? Those who are still struggling or having, or still afraid to come out.
Yes. Okay. Because I feel like I'm one of the fortunate ones who had a very supportive family when I came out. So my advice to people who are still in the closet, just take your time. Don't rush anything, and eventually, if you do want to come out and you feel like it's your time and you feel like you can't hide it anymore, you don't want to pretend anymore, just tell it to the people that you're comfortable first, and if they or after that one, if they accept you, you're gonna be gonna feel the relief. You're gonna be relieved that you told someone. Then just baby steps. If you're really that closeted, just baby steps first. If you have a best friend, and just tell them first. And if you have someone that you trust, just tell them. And if they, if so happens that they reject you, or they tell you that they see you as someone who's different, um, just remember that who the people that are gonna accept you are the ones that are more um, rare to find. So if they don't accept you, then okay, at least you told them. At least
Yeah,
you're not hiding anymore. At least that's who you are. At least you're finally free of hiding from what you really feel. People will come and go.
yeah,
For me, people come and go. Just find someone who you can really trust, and just come out to them, and if they and accept what happens. Whatever
that's
happens,
true.
happen. Yeah.
That is true. I mean, when you come out to a person, only two things would happen: they'll accept you or
Yeah.
they don't. So yeah, it's really, you have to be ready for either consequences. But I think you're right. When you feel like it's time to come out,
Mhm.
you really would be the only one to
I know for sure.
know. Yeah, for sure that you really want to come out. But that is true. Expect that it's either or. It's not always a good, what do you
It's
call that?
always hard,
Yeah,
don't force someone to accept who you are. You just need to accept who you are. Just for me, I
exactly.
don't force your sexuality on someone. That don't If they don't accept you, just let it be.
Yeah,
People come and
move
go.
on.
You're gonna meet a lot more people who are gonna be open to you. There's a lot more of us who is gonna accept you for who you are, and we're not gonna judge you, and we're not gonna discriminate. We'll fully support you for who you are. You're not alone, actually.
That's true. All right. And let's if you were to create, I wanted I wanted to know how you would describe yourself. So if you were to create a profile in a dating app, because you guys are young, I know you're around 20 something. If you were to create a profile in a dating app, what three sentences would you describe yourself?
Few sentences. um, I'm the kind of person who's gonna make you a playlist. And I'm the kind of person who's gonna make you a playlist and I swing both ways.
And what's
Yes.
the third sentence?
The third sentence would probably be uh I don't know. I'm an open-minded person. I won't judge you for who you are and what you truly, what are the things you love and what are the things you don't. You can help, something like that.
All right. And you said that I'm the kind of person who would make you a playlist. Actually, I know Gia to be a songwriter. So she actually, when you're ready to share your art to the world, I know you had my niece cover your song and post it on Facebook. You are a really great songwriter, and I've heard your voice when you sent that recording to my niece, and you really have a great voice as well. And hopefully one day you get to share your art um, to everyone else, because man, you write good songs. And I've
I
only
wrote it for my girlfriend. It's actually a Matsuri.
really
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, I just remembered because when I heard that song and I was like, what song is this? And then my niece was like, oh, this is a song written by my classmate, my friend back in high school. And she was playing it in, I forget if it was the guitar or the ukulele, but it was like, I was like, wow, this is very impressive. This is such a great song. So hopefully one day we get to hear your songs out there. There's Spotify as well if you want.
Yeah, I wanna make more songs about, you know, LGBT community.
Oh
Like
wow,
I'm a
that
girl,
is so
like
nice.
yeah, I wanna have an artist wanna write a song for the people, for the people who know that this person who wrote the song is a girl, who's someone
Mm.
who's singing is a girl, and the lyrics are containing a girl loving another girl, something like
Yeah,
that. I
that
want to
is
write,
so nice.
yeah,
I'll be looking forward to more of your songs, and let me know once they're out because you really write great. And it's nice to hear that you want to use your art, your creativity to tell stories about LGBTQs, and that really helps. Um, as what I've always said, nothing changes instantly. So we have to keep working for the change in the future that we want. It may be a small progress. We're seeing small progress, but over time, those small things they get compounded, and there would be big changes. So thank you so much for using your art and creativity for the
yeah, hopefully.
LGBTQs for our community. All
So
right.
I, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. What was it that you were gonna say?
yeah, I want to write. I also write, stories.
Mm-hmm.
I used to write stories for Wattpad before when I was in high school. So this past couple of days, I'm brainstorming about writing another story or a novel about LGBT people, something like
That
that.
is nice. That is really nice. All
Mm.
right. And then I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about art and about our local media and film and television industry specifically, how do you feel like, how is their portrayal of the LGBTQs nowadays?
Mm. Well, to be honest, it's quite disappointing
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being blunt, because I've been seeing this films and TV episodes, something like from for MMK or something like that. They're having straight artists play the role of gay
LGBTQs, yeah.
people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if it were me, I would like find, a person or an actor or actress who's openly gay
Yeah.
or openly bisexual to play the role of a bisexual person or a lesbian
Yeah.
or a gay person.
That is true.
There's a lot of, yeah. So it's really quite disappointing, especially for the from the last episode of MMK about this two vloggers, the lesbian vloggers, and the one of the actors who played this vlogger was a straight actress. She
Mm.
was straight and she like tweeted something about she was really uncomfortable with some of the
No.
scenes, when they were shooting it, and I was kind of upset about it because
Yeah.
why would they choose an actress who's straight and would say stuff like that,
Yeah. It
why
doesn't
couldn't they
help that.
just
Yeah. Why couldn't they just choose an LGBTQ actor who
Mm,
could play the role? And it doesn't really help. I mean, they're taking us away from the equation of telling our own stories. And as you know, the best people to tell LGBTQ stories are the LGBTQ people who have
LGBT,
lived
yeah.
their stories. So it's really sad that that's what's happening. So we need hopefully more um, directors and casting directors um,
Mm,
get understand that the best people to play a role, like especially marginalized people like
mm,
LGBTQs, there is a space for us in telling our own stories. We should be the one telling our stories. That's quite disappointing as well. The actor who tweeted that she's uncomfortable with the scenes because
mm-hmm.
she's playing a lesbian. One,
Yeah.
it's very that is so sad because I think the point of telling our stories out there is to, have it in a positive light. But you saying that you're uncomfortable, it just means that you're uncomfortable with
Yeah.
LGBTQ people. So that is really sad. That's just recent that you saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I think it was just this year. I think it was MMK or last year, just 2020, something between 2020. Yeah,
Wow,
just
that
a
is sad.
recent. Yeah, even the vloggers who saw the tweet of that actress who portrayed them, they
They
were
got
really
upset.
like, they got upset and they got mad. They tweeted some, yeah, why would they ask why would this network show something like this or cast this actress and would say stuff like that afterwards.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
is.
I was really upset about this as well. You
Yeah,
know.
but there is some progress on the part of, they're not really a big station, I think. I'm not really sure because I just saw, I think it's a web series. If you've seen Pearl Next
Mm.
Door, that's a really good series where the actors that play the characters are also LGBTQ. I think a couple of them are bisexuals as well, and it's a short episode, and it's really a good one. It's they talked about a lot of important things, even including sexuality and uh, masturbation and sexual
Mhm.
pleasure. So that's a really good for me. Growing up here in the Philippines, that even those topics are taboo. But if you
Yeah.
wanna, yeah, if you wanna, here's a little bit of a good news for you. But there are people who are working hard to get our stories out there. And I think the most popular ones, I haven't had the chance of getting to see it, is Game Boys, and I think they're showing it became a movie already. Um,
Mm.
I think the tickets are out now. I'm not really sure. I just saw it on my Facebook. But the makers of Pearl Next Door and the makers of Game Boys are the same people behind it, so, and the same
Ooh.
production company, I believe. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a good news, and I think we
Mm.
have a lot of people who are now. One time, I think I posted on my Facebook that um, about Pearl Next Door when I found out about it, and a friend of mine in college actually said she's watching it as well. So that is really nice. I'll send you some. I'll send you the link
Yeah.
um, so that
Yes, yes, yes,
you could see
please.
for yourself. All right. Okay. I wanted to ask you, what was the harshest thing you ever told yourself?
Hmm. Well, one of the harshest things I have told I'm not good enough. I think
You're not good
that's
enough.
yeah. One of the harshest things that you
That is
know.
quite harsh, you know. Um, do you still believe that still?
There are some times that I still think about it, but
Mm.
I just move on from it because I have my girlfriend to remind me that I'm good enough, that I'm worth it. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have her. I'm really lucky to have her actually. So whenever I'm feeling down or something like that, I just turn to her, tell her that I'm feeling down, and then she just comforts me. And I've never had that kind of partner before, so that's one of the reasons why being bisexual is good because for me, because loving a person, you know loving a female is much some for me it's much
Mhm.
more deeper. There's like just such a deep connection when it comes to having a relationship with a girl for me.
All right.
So
That's really great to have that one support person that reminds you um, that you are good enough, and it's really great that I'm so happy to hear that you're happy with the relationship that you're in currently. How long have you guys been together?
she's actually
Uh,
my
sh-
longest. This is actually my longest relationship.
mhm.
17 months on August
17
1st.
months. Oh,
That's
wow.
when it.
Wow. Happy anniversary. 18 months. 18 months, right? On August
Oh,
1st.
17. 17.
17 months on August 1st. All right.
Mhm.
And so another question that I wanted to ask you is, if success is guaranteed, so you know that you're going to get it, whatever it is that you want, what's that one thing you would pursue if you're guaranteed success?
One thing. Um, really quite well. Oh, okay. So success is what I would really like to pursue
Mm-hmm.
is to have same-sex marriage be legalized here in in the
Yeah.
Philippines,
Yeah.
because that way you won't need to go to America or the US to get married to the person you love.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be the one thing that I would like to to pursue, because right now, if because for me, if you're dating, if you're gonna be in a relationship, you should see it as long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing I would really like to happen, or I would really like to pursue. If
Yeah.
success is guaranteed, I would have same sex be legalized here in the Philippines without any discrimination.
Yeah. Same-sex marriage. Yeah, we're working hard to get that to happen.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So, I mean, I think baby steps because of we were. It's quite you know heartbreaking because I think we have to decolonize our mentality, because back then, before we were pre-colonized Philippines, were actually more accepting and gender neutral, um, and we were not cisgender centered people. Like, we accepted people as who we are. Back then, we had the Babaylans who were the shamans, and they were trans women, and we were, we were accepting of that. They actually held power in the structure of our society. But then when we were colonized, um, that disappeared because that wasn't their way of life. So unfortunately, we have some decolonization, if that is a word, um, that we have to do. And a lot of the people in the government right now who are making the laws are still, they have that mentality still that only
Oh yeah.
straight people, or because their religion says this is wrong, so this should be law. So again, as well, I wanted to stress out that you guys are the younger generation, so please go out and vote. Please go and register so that we would have a say
Yeah.
on the lawmakers and the government officials that we elect, um, and elect those people that you know have, like,
Should be more open-minded about.
yes, and that they have genuine, they really have genuine concern about our community. I think one of the senators I know who's been pushing for SOGI equality bill is Senator Risa Hontiveros. We're quite lucky to have her as an ally. She's been really,
Mm,
if you've been attending our Pride March yearly, she's always been very supportive, and she's pushing for bills and laws in the Senate that would protect, um, and guarantee our equal rights in
yeah.
that we actually should be having right now. So yeah, so as a young person, I hope you encourage other uh, your friends to go out, register, and vote for this coming election.
Yeah, it's gonna
That's
happen. I really feel like same-sex marriage is gonna happen in the Philippines. We just gotta give it a little more push
yeah.
for the people
So
who make the law.
yeah, we need to keep on pushing, and we need to, as it's important that we declare that we deserve to have this space, and we deserve to have,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, that we self-identify and we claim our space, as we're not going to be silent anymore and just take whatever it is that they throw at us. But
Yeah,
no, that is
yeah, this is just the unity of just two people who love each other and they want to make their love official. That's as simple as that. So,
yes.
why do they have to make it complicated or something?
That's
Just
true.
just two
Actually,
people.
yeah, it's a business of two people. They're two adults, they're two grown adults. And
Mhm.
y- my partner and I have been together for 11 years, but
Mhm.
because we don't have same-sex marriage here just yet, so we have to think about how do I make sure that all of the things that we've worked for would go to you if ever I die, or would go to me if ever she dies, or that she can make medical decisions when I'm no longer capable of making
Mm.
medical
Yeah, that
decisions.
too.
Yeah, so it's not really about um, religion or anything. It's really just about two people wanting to ensure each other's future. When it,
Yeah,
should it happen that that one of them passes away, so I think, or one of them needs that medical decision, we want to be there for our partner. Um, yeah, so
exactly.
that's those are really just most of the things that we want, and which cisgender couples enjoy freely. And for my last question, what's your hope for the future?
Mm. Um, my hope for the future is for my generation to vote wisely. To just vote for competent people who's gonna be making the laws in the Philippines. Vote for competent people who, you know, yeah, who's really qualified to
Mhm.
run the country. Just really just vote wisely.
That is true. That is
Because
true.
it's really hard um, for working class Filipinos or their everyday lives to to just be what they are, or just go outside and do their jobs, if all they see in the news are these politicians who are just really being corrupt or something like that. They're just stealing tax money, and these politicians who are just they're just not competent enough to be in the Senate. They don't have the right qualifications or the right credentials for that. They don't have
Mhm.
the right experience, but they're out there, they're running the country. And so just it's really just my hope for my generations to just be smart enough and vote for the right people, because it's not just us gonna benefit from this, but also from the other generation that's you know our kids and
Yes,
something like that.
that is true. That is
That's
true.
that's just my hope.
That's a good hope, and really,
Yeah,
I really hope that we could turn things around in our
yeah, me too.
government, and we get the right people in there that would really work for our benefit and for our own, who is really genuinely concerned about all of our welfare. All right,
Yeah.
Gia, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I know that you just came from work, and I'm so grateful that you gave me
Thank you.
this time.
No
And
problem.
thank you so much for sharing your story and your thoughts with us. All right,
Oh,
thank you
thank
again.
you for having me. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you po.